Madam Terry has said, after the two of you speak, it becomes difficult to even speak. And today I must admit, let me tell you this, every time I go out for lunch with my friends and we argue about who is the most beautiful, I always tell them, leave me out, discuss the rest of you, because I'm there in a class of my own, I'm very beautiful. But today I must admit, I sit in a table with the most beautiful girl in Kenya. And hopefully she will bring that title back for us from the world. Yeah, all the best, Sharon. Director, Chiromo Group of Hospitals, Mr. Tony Wainaina, Madam Terry, Miss World franchise holder for 19 years and the founder of Ashley's, Miss World and Miss Kenya, the CEO who knows his staff so well and very passionate about what he does, the Chiromo Hospital Group fraternity, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Allow me first to tell you a little bit about the Institute. So the Institute of Human Resource Management is a statutory professional body which was formed under Act of Parliament 2012, and we sit under the Ministry of Public Service. Our mandate is to regulate, build capacity, and also protect the welfare of the HR professionals. If any of you is seated here and works in an office, I am sure you have a HR professional, and they are registered with us. First of all, I would like to thank the management of Chiromo Health Group for organizing and making this event. I would also like to thank the partners who have done this event and made it as big as it is today. I am delighted to join you this afternoon as the world is prepared to mark the Mental Health Day tomorrow. This is a matter that is very close to my heart at personal level and at organizational level. Mental health is a subject that is not fully understood, despite it being incredibly common in society. And many researchers have described it as a time bomb, which is waiting to blast any time, with dire consequences. Mental health disorders are as a result of many factors, which includes stigma and discrimination, distressful relationships among families, lack of employment, among others. The COVID-19 pandemic has of late been cause of mental health issues related. And that I have experienced as a HR professional. I have joined the Institute about 4 months ago. Before that, I was working at a regional office and have experienced firsthand on how depressing these issues of COVID-19 were on everyone, with fear of job losses, with fear of what will happen next, because something just showed up in the world, and all of a sudden we were equal, regardless of where you are. The most common manifestations of mental ill health in Kenya have been suicide, homicide, alcoholism, drug and illicit substance abuses. Of the entire disease burden in Kenya, 13% is mental illness. Deplorably, the corresponding budget allocation to mental health, Dr. said it's less than 1%, but to be precise, it's 0.1%. You can do the math. However, of late, careful attention has been drawn in this topic nationally and globally. On 10th October 2018, the UN General Assembly, recognizing the mental health disorders and other mental conditions contribute to the global burden to non-communicable disease, resolved to scale up efforts remedifying this situation. The Assembly estimated that 300 million people are affected by depression alone globally. On 1st June 2019, The President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, noted in his address to the nation that the country was facing a mental health crisis and ordered the Ministry of Health to implement programs and policies to address this problem. In the year of 2020, a task force of mental health in Kenya was constituted. The task force realized that at least 25% of outpatient and 40% of inpatient in different health facilities had mental illness, and of estimated prevalence of psychosis stated at 1% of the general population. The task force consolidated its findings in a report titled Mental Health and Mental Well-Being Toward Happiness and National Prosperity 2020. I hope you will all get a copy and read that report. And at this juncture, please allow me to congratulate the patron of Chiromo Hospital Group, Dr. Frank Jenga, and his team who are leading this project, him as the presidential advisor. If you look at that work, it touched in every person in our society. In the profession within which I work, I recognize the mental health in the workplace is increasingly becoming an important aspect to consider. This has become more relevant by the challenges that I've mentioned, which came with COVID-19 pandemic. For this reason, most progressive organizations have been taking progressive steps to address the mental well-being of their staff, as this affects their performance and ultimately the employees having mental issues are not able to perform. And this slows you down in terms of meeting your targets and all that. So everyone realized it's an issue that you can no longer keep quiet. How then can the HR professionals contribute to the mental well-being of employees in their respective organizations? There are several ways. And before I even continue with the rest, when I joined the Institute 4 months ago, the national chairman of the Institute also happens to be the CEO for the National Police Commission. And you also know what's happening within the police force. So we've been receiving a lot of requests, especially through our HR professionals. We're facing issues, people are struggling, how can we help them, and all that. And that's how we found the Chiromo group of hospitals. So what can we do as HR professionals? You can set up anonymous portals through which employees can reach out and let the HR manager know that they're struggling. It's very important. You can also organize periodic in-house trainings, what we call debrief. We can sit all in a room, pick an issue, discuss. And you might be surprised if you have 20 people sitting in a room. If it's not relatable to them, it relates to someone within their circle they can support. We need to encourage a workplace culture whereby it's okay to speak about mental health issues. We should not discriminate or stigmatize people for having mental health issues. We need to be loud about it. People have been suffering in silence. Now it's time to be loud about it. And we also need to be empathetic. Because what happens the minute I mention about my mental health issues, in my society, where if someone has mental issues, they don't even go far. They'll say, who you? He's a mental case. I don't know what that means, and that is where it stops. And nobody wants to associate with you. And actually, that's what leads to depression, and that's what leads to suicide. Because once you are discriminated, once you are stigmatized, then the only option is, let me go meet my creator. And also, let's enhance our insurance covers. Issues of mental health, if you look within your covers, they are silenced and added within other issues. And they are capped. you will see limit to this point, which I think at this point as HR professionals and even the insurance providers, let's open that up the same way we've opened up about HIV/AIDS, the same way we've opened up about other critical illness. I like the term tufunguke, my mental health first. We have to normalize mental health by creating awareness. We need to speak about it. We need to share our experiences, just like the Tufunguka initiative suggests. And I will tell you, right now, how many people still talk about HIV/AIDS? We live with people in our houses who have HIV/AIDS. It has become part of us. It's normal. And that has been made possible because we chose to speak about it. At IHRM, we are committed to spearhead the conversation and collaborate in influencing policies and the legal framework as we work towards building safe spaces in our organization where mental health indeed comes first. I always say mental health, mental wellness equals to mental wealth. You cannot have people who are not stable, you will not perform. And I am sure if you go back, you must have asked someone, saying, Quresha, this is not how you used to perform, what's happening? That is how it starts. And if you don't address from that point, and you give them opportunity to speak about why have they slowed down, this is not the person I've hired, what happened? Then you help the society because you're giving them the space. Rather than saying your work is not good, the first thing that comes to mind is putting the person on performance improvement plans, disciplinary procedures, and the next thing someone has to choose between his issues being exposed or they quit. And quitting is worse because now you've taken away someone's livelihood, which you will have been able to support. And since they cannot support themselves and their family, now the suicide thoughts come in. In collaboration with the Chiromo Hospital Group, we are building the capacity of the HR professionals. And you might ask yourself, you have the psychologists, the doctors, why the HR professionals? When you come for interviews, the first person you encounter is the HR. When you're being onboarded, it's HR. When you're submitting your documents, it's HR. If there are disciplinary issues, it's HR. So I consider the HR professionals to be the foundation of any organization, and they are the rest of us can be the partners, but HR professionals are part of the organization. It's what can make or break an organization. So it's important that we need to build their capacity by designing a curriculum and a toolkit that will enable them to support their team better. And I would like to mention at this point that toolkit is 99% complete. And the next thing we are planning is to start training in 3 levels. First, as psychological first aid. Second, as a master class. And the third, continuous webinars to help them on how they can support their team. Chiromo Group of Hospitals were also very kind enough to offer subsidized care to our members, because we say, who is taking care of the caregiver? Because as HR professionals, we listen and hear a lot. The counselors are trained and they know how to deal with it. But as we get emotionally involved and we go home depressed, in so many ways, you're given a letter, you're told, the business is not doing well, I want you to send home 20 people. And it's very depressing when you hear the HR professionals that I'm going home to have food and someone has just said you've taken away meal from my table, and they don't know how to handle that emotions. So now the HR professionals will be able to access private and confidential services at a subsidized price through the Chiromo Group of Hospital, and we thank you for that opportunity. On 12th of this month, we will have a webinar which will be hosted by IHRM together with the Chiromo Group of Hospitals for the HR professionals on a topic, COVID-era challenges and opportunities, that is presence for the wellness at workplaces. We need to enhance wellness at workplace if we want to build this economy. Also, our 25th annual national conference is scheduled between 26th and 29th of this month in Mombasa, and a major theme we will address is matters of mental health, again thanks to Chiromo Group of Hospitals. Indeed, we live in an equal world and we are all walking different paths, but together we can live in dignity and access to mental health treatment and enjoy fulfilling life. But it all starts with kufunguka. Today, as we commemorate this day, I am very optimistic that this event will provide a platform for all of us to discuss, cooperate, and take practical actions about mental health well-being to Kenyans. And to our fourth estate members, the media, please don't tell us which doctor, which police officer committed suicide. You address the nation, you have the potentials, and the majority of our media is in the private sector. And I would like to request you all humbly to tell us, to address this on how we can support the society. If we just report a doctor killed himself and his children, we have to go beyond that. Even other animals, you've seen how protective they are of their children. It's not okay to judge someone. It's not normal. And I really, really celebrate the wife of the doctor who committed that in Nakuru. The way she spoke of her husband highly. That's who he was. And that's who we want to remember. The rest, we must admit we failed him. We must admit support was not available. We have the Taskforce report. If our medics are suffering, you tell me about the rest of the society. We need to be loud enough. Let's stop speaking kichini chini. Tuanze kufunguka. And if you remember during the HIV/AIDS time, there were always these prime time videos that couples going for counseling together. If you're positive, it's okay. There are other ways you can bring out. And the creative actors who are here today, let's start working on such videos. And I know the stakeholders will come out, sponsor this, and it becomes a normal thing on prime time. In our newses, we have vernacular radios. Yesterday I got an opportunity to speak in one of them owned by KBC, and I have spoken to the community that mental illness, you don't just have to change someone. There is treatment for it out there, the same way we have treatment for malaria and other non-communicable diseases. Please, let's speak out, let's help each other. People are doing things differently in silence. We need to come out. We need to be loud enough about it, and it starts with the media. And I would like to see the same videos we were doing for the HIV when it was at its peak, and it becomes normal, so that we help more within the society, far and end, from Turkana all the way to Marsabit. Thank you so much.